Welcome to the Cancel Culture Club.
And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. This is a tranny or a drag queen, perhaps. This is definitely a man. And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. It's like this, he's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know whether he looked like some kind of gay CPR, just fanning and And I went over there. All I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. She is fine. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. She just fell off the bench. It appears that her is popping out of her dress.
If there's one comedian who refused to let outrage decide what he could joke about, it's Dave Chappelle. Here are some of his most outrageous moments.
It's like that white black that's in the news all the time. Rachel Dolezal. And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes, call her and to her face. What the talking about? I identify black. That is trans talk, lady. Stop biting.
For Chappelle, Rachel Dolezal wasn't just pretending. She was the real hypocrite.
There's a big difference between her and a trans. The difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Then they cut they off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their away. Don't need it.
Then Chappelle noticed one detail he simply couldn't ignore.
She didn't even change her name. Her name is Rachel. I can't believe in that name. If you want my support, you're gonna have to change your name to the blackest I've ever heard. You're gonna have to change your name to Draymond Green. I don't know a blacker name than that.
Chappelle then turned his attention to what he saw as a double standard in comedy.
I can't say the word. And she said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a either.
One of Chappelle's most famous bits came when he imagined the entire LGBTQ community riding together in the same car. Needless to say, everyone ended up getting roasted.
I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my f***ing guts. And I don't blame them. It's not their fault, it's mine. I can't stop telling jokes about these.
Then Chappelle offered his own take on what he believed was happening beneath the LGBTQ community's united front.
You know, you hear all those letters together all the time, LBGT, and you think it's just one big movement. It's not. All those letters are their own movement. They just travel in the same car together. My guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads.
Next, Chappelle shifted his attention to lesbians and bisexuals. And when one audience member got a little too enthusiastic, he had the perfect comeback.
Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. And the only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go. Everybody scream out when you hear your letter. One thing that the L's and the G's agree on is that the B's are f***ing gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the backseat like, yeah, man, I'll f*** anybody in this car. What's going on, man?
With every other passenger covered, Chappelle finally got to the one he'd been building toward all along.
And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the backseat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's. Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. Can you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states now. You just shut the f*** up so we can get where we're going.
By this point, Chappelle had already taken aim at nearly every corner of the culture wars, but his most controversial moments weren't limited to LGBTQ topics. Here's the time Dave Chappelle took on Hollywood's MeToo movement and refused to back down.
said something about it in one of my specials, and all these women actresses came after me. I said, man, fuck y'all too, you canceled. I ain't jerking off to none of your pictures again. They were like, who is he to tell us anything? I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm the one that got off the bus and left $50 million on the bus and walked.
Rather than joining the calls to cancel people, Chappelle argued there was a far more effective way to make a point. In his view, the real solution wasn't outrage. It was simply choosing not to support the people you disagreed with.
I agreed with these women. I just didn't agree with what they were doing about. Because if these women were serious, you know what they would have done? They all would have fired their agents. And they would have went to the mailroom of one of these big agencies and found a woman that was busting her hump in there. If you want to talk to us, then you have to talk to her. And if they did that, and she would be big, and they would be big, and nobody would get fed to Harvey Weinstein. But did they do that? Oh. That their idea? No. Surprisingly, it was mine. And what I think the feminist movement needs to be very successful is a male leader. I'll do it. I will. I will lead you women to the promised land. I will make sure you get equal pay for equal work. I will make sure that nobody harasses you or fucks with you on the job. I will protect all of your interests. And all that I ask for in return is that you suck my dick.
If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more of Dave Chappelle's most outrageous moments, as well as uncensored stories from comedians, celebrities, and Hollywood's biggest controversies, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Raw Access HQ, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next episode. Thanks for watching.